All right, it is time for the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Melas, but you can call me what for short, baby?
Eli.
That's right, you can call me Eli for short. And who is this wonderful, amazing, beautiful, lovely lady to my right?
Well, I am Don Ledgerwood, his girlfriend, future wife.
His girlfriend and future wife. You made it very clear that I'm going to be your future husband.
Absolutely.
I was going to say I'm going to be your future wife, repeating what you said, but I'm the man in the relationship, and
You're funny.
It's all good. Today is Easter.
Yes. Happy Easter, everyone.
Today is Easter. We are recording this on Sunday, April 20th, 2025. It's also 420 Cannabis Day.
Yes, it is. My favorite day of the year, besides my birthday.
Yeah, and they've had some great deals at our local dispensary. It's a chain with locations all over Northern California. But they didn't have what we normally get in stock, so we weren't able to get anything, but that's okay. It's still still going to be a great day, right?
You know what? It's 420 every day.
For you, it's 420 every day, or to any other cannabis smoker, it's 420 every day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a great show for you here today, and we were going to have a special guest on that we were announcing throughout some of our live streams that we do on YouTube. But unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make it. We'll explain more about that in just a few here. But today, we're going to be talking about Easter and the importance of family. But before we get to that, babe, we're going to talk about some current important events that are surrounding our organization here and ourselves, the Genuine Networking Association, GNA, and myself as an individual and Don's an individual. We have some things to discuss with you folks. We wanted to go public on this on our podcast. Even though we've kind of talked about this already on YouTube, we wanted to put it out there because we feel other people could learn something from this. But anyway, before we get to that, happy Easter, babe.
Happy Easter, my love.
Wow. I've gotten some feedback from our trolls that they don't like the fact that we high-five each other.
I don't care.
And it's like, how far apart are you from each other? Well, we're not that far apart, but this is the way the studio is set up. And we use these nice microphones. I have the Shure SM7B. Don has the Shure SM58. Okay, they are dynamic microphones, which is what I'm trying to say. So you have to speak right into them for them to pick you up. So it's kind of hard to really, if I go over here, then you can't hear me, right? Oh, you know what? You know what? I screwed up. I forgot to do something, baby. This is going to affect our recording, but we're going to fix it. We're not going to start over. The video is going to be a little bit off sync at the beginning. It's still off sync. Huh. Okay, let me see if I can fix this here. There we go. My God. There's been so much going on. You see, we are in sync now. You can see our lips moving along with what we're saying. But for the first part of the show, I have a little bit of a delay here. So I have good audio and video. And in order for the video to sync up with the audio, I have to make sure that the delay is functioning properly before we start recording or we go live. And I didn't check that. So anyway, the first part of the show, whatever. You'll hear the audio, and if you're on the audio only versions of this podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite baby, iHeartRadio, then you won't be able to tell the difference on YouTube. Forgive us. We do our own tech stuff. We do our own everything here at the GNA, right, baby?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association. All right, babe. So first of all, we want to make people aware that we're expecting to have one of our GNA executives, Tia, as a guest up here today. We want to let you all know that unfortunately she cannot make it. You want to share,
I'm not going to share too much of her own personal life, but
We're not.
she's just not feeling well today.
Mm-hmm.
And she would just rather record something when she's feeling better. So
I don't blame her one bit.
no, absolutely not. She's not going to be 100%. She doesn't want to go on not being 100%.
No hard feelings, Tia, and I haven't had a
love
chance.
You, Tia.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to respond to her message yet. I will later on, but by the time this is released on Wednesday, then it'll be released.
We'll have talked several times.
Absolutely. Wednesday, April 23rd is when this will be released. Again, it is Sunday, April 20th, 2025. It's Easter Sunday for, the American Catholic Easter, and also, my culture's Easter, Greek Orthodox Easter. And it's not going to be this way again for quite some time because typically they're on a different Sunday. But we'll get to that in just a little bit here. So we mentioned about Tia. Now, how's your week been, baby? We've had
we've had a really busy week.
We have.
I mean, it again, as always.
Yeah.
But, thankfully next week is pretty slow. Knock on wood. But anyways, no, this week has been really good. A lot of fast-paced stuff. But we love that. That's where we come up with our ideas of what we're going to talk about. We go out, we look at what's going on in the world. We look at people, and that's where our heart goes to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we go out and come up with all these great ideas
Mm-hmm.
to share with you. And, it's been a great week. Lots of appointments, but all good news.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is going really good for us right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When you mentioned the word slow, you reminded me when we went down south to visit your family for our family reunion. This was a little over a year ago, like a year and a half ago, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe this summer will be a year and a half.
This summer will be, yeah. And we were near a town called San Luis Obispo, which is SLO, and people that live there or don't live there say that people are slow in San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
SLO, slow, right? But San Luis Obispo is actually the home of Cal Poly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Cal Poly is one of the absolute best engineering schools on the planet. So they're not really that slow.
And it's really kind of cool. My aunt was telling me that from her backyard, she can see shuttles being launched, into space. Like they do all of their testing right out there. So it's really kind of awesome when they're going to have one go up into space that, they all sit in the backyard and, they get like a first, view of it, like right live. So it's really exciting for her. Something her and her husband really love to do, just sit outside and watch that. So yeah, it's a nice place to be. Lots of great historical things down there. Very historical.
Oh, a very historical area, and San Luis Obispo is a very historical town. I mean, all of California, there's such a great amount of history out here. It's just an amazing place to live, and it's even more amazing for people that visit. They have a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we have are the missions, talking about historical things. We have missions all up and down the state. They are so interesting to go and read everything and just be there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just really, really entertaining to learn, to see, just to be a part of all of that. So it's just great. I love this state.
Absolutely. Okay. So before we get to our Easter stories here and talking about Easter and the importance of family, there are some updates and situations that Dawn and I would like to talk about regarding things that we've been dealing business-wise, things that we've been primarily dealing with on YouTube. And we wanted to put this out there to our podcast audience because, the more people that truly know what's going on, if you go through a similar situation, you're going through something similar, you can learn how to better handle it. And we can also help you here at the GNA better handle it through our experiences. And I will say this. I'm just going to put it out there to the podcast people and the people on YouTube. You probably heard this, or there may be some new people on YouTube that come across this. I've been dealing with a lot of very, very awkward and hateful and very vile and ignorant type of people on YouTube. Some of them have even done some things. Such as, tried to steal my business name. And then they took me to court over that. And it was basically just a trolling technique, trying to take my business and, sell that content to their audience. These same people, one particular person, we're not going to mention, her name. At the same time, she tried to get a restraining order on me 1 month. She filed for it in her state of Florida 1 month after she filed the small claims business case, because she had duplicated my business name, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, and used a similar logo and the same name on her channel. And I reported it to YouTube. Technically it's an anonymous reporting, but obviously it's going to be me reporting impersonation. And YouTube took her channel down for impersonation, and she sued me for wrongfully terminating her YouTube channel because she was saying I didn't have a business license in Redwood City for an online, coaching business. I didn't even know I needed that. Now, most people would have said, hey, just get your business license, They wouldn't, use these loopholes to try to go after your business just to have content to present to their audience. So this same woman filed for a stalking order against me in Florida while filing for a business small claims case here in California. So with the exception of filing, any type of protection orders of protection, such as restraining orders, you have to file any other civil matter in the person's state. Now, when you file for a restraining order, then you file that in your own state. And a lot of times, people are allowed to appear remotely. Now, in my case against her, babe, in her case against me filing a restraining order, the temporary injunction, like they call it in Florida, here in California, we call it a TRO, temporary restraining order. In most states, they call it a TRO. They call it a temporary injunction in Florida. It was denied. I tried to get remote appearance because this woman served me literally 2 business days before I was supposed to appear in court in Florida. She served me on a Thursday, and then I was supposed to appear that Monday in Florida, 2,500 miles away. So I found out how to file the paperwork. I had to take Thursday and Friday to put everything together and to request remote appearance from the judge, and the judge denied me remote appearance. So I wrote back to the judge and I said, unfortunately, I can't make it. Please take everything into consideration. I'm a good person, yada, yada, yada. Well, the following, on Monday was the case. I didn't show up because I can't afford to show up. And plus, I take care of you because you have seizure disorder and other medical things that are happening.
Not only that, we all have told you every week, we have constant doctor's appointments.
Right.
I'm unable to drive.
Yeah.
Because of the seizure disorder.
Right.
And so he has to take me.
She's reliant and dependent on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I can't leave the state with him.
Yeah.
Due to the seizure disorder and just having to be local with my doctors. and having them constantly monitoring me.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't be able to go, and I'd be left,
right.
I'm sure, honestly, I would be able to get help, but
It
from
would
his
be
family.
yeah, but
But it's not.
I know her situation the best.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, all his mom would be is a chauffeur, and
Yes,
so it wouldn't work well with our lifestyle,
right.
and that's not an excuse, but we would have made all the effort if the judge would have given us at least a chance instead of just denying the remote access.
Yeah, it was a different county than the next one. I'll explain that in a second for the podcast audience and people on YouTube that haven't heard this story already, because we've actually talked about this publicly. But so I was supposed to appear in court on Monday. I couldn't. I was denied remote appearance, and on Wednesday I received a mailer from the county of this woman that also filed a business small claims case and duplicated my business, yada yada yada, all that garbage. And it said that the petition was denied because the petitioner failed to show up. So she tries to get a restraining order on me for stalking. Even puts, like, she went as far as putting her I think it's her grandchild that she is the caretaker of, right? She even went as far as put her grandson's name on that to try to get an RO on me, and then she didn't even show up to court. And I think when the temporary was denied, I think she knew that unless she had some major new evidence, which the whole thing was bogus in the first place, then she was going to lose the case. So why show up and look like a fool, right?
Oh yeah, why?
It's just a waste of my time and the court's time and all the resources we all put into this for stupid shit, right?
Oh yeah.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. This was like about a year and a half ago or so. Let's fast forward almost a year and a half later. This same woman that filed for an RO on me convinced another woman in her network to file an RO. And I think it was about 3 weeks ago or almost a month ago, the sheriff came to the house and attempted to serve me. And, we're on the third floor and we don't always look at the camera. And if no one else is home, then, we're not going to answer the door. We don't even know that the door is, and we don't even know someone's at the door. So they left a note at the door and it said to contact this number over a civil matter.
Civil matter.
Civil matter. They got to be professional and you got to do it legally, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I have not been paying attention to all these trolls and haters that we've been dealing with for years, right? Don and I have been together 3.5 years. These people have been coming at me for like 7 years. And this one lady I was just talking about with the RO and the business situation has been about just a little over 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. All right. Now, so, I went over to the community wall of this woman's channel that, supposedly, part of our business settlement agreement was to allow us both to coexist with a similar business name. So she's Genuine Networking Association. I'm Genuine Networking Association with the GNA in parentheses, and we have a different class code. We're personal development, self-improvement, and she's business something, whatever, right? We're different class codes. So we settled that case. And, part of that settlement was, that I gave her $1,000. She sued me for $2,500. I gave her $1,000 because, and I countersued her for intentional infliction of emotional distress. But, if either one of us lost that case, we would have appealed the case, and then we would have had to get attorneys. It would have cost a lot more, taken more time. And I just wanted to get this woman off my back as quickly as possible. So that's why, I looked at it. I said, okay, I'll pay her $1,000. I'll plug all the loopholes, which since that point I got the business license. The G&A became an LLC. I have a fictitious business name, Elias Melas, DBA, January Networking Association, right? So I said, fuck it. I'll pay her the $1,000. Part of the agreement was to try to get her channel back from YouTube. And if that doesn't happen, it didn't happen. Give her $1,000, fine. And then, the other part was that, neither one of us will ever, file copyright infringement or trademark infringement on each other regarding the business. Mm-hmm. Now, this particular woman, is trying to put out publicly to her audience that also includes the content we create here. So this piece of content we create here, she thinks that contract gives her exclusive rights to even this piece of content. It doesn't. She knows it. I know it. But as far as the content she creates and the people that support her, which are,
And that's what's happening. She's inciting other people. So she doesn't get her fingers dirty right now. So she's having.
She already got
her hands dirty.
Right.
But she doesn't want to add more to that. That's why she's bringing other people in to do her dirty work.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. She already filed for a stalking order on me in her state, and she has to file it there. If she does it again, then it's going to look really bad. Even if she shows up, I'll just remind the judge, I have everything. I keep very, very good digital and paper copies. So she exhausted her avenue there. So now she's incited someone else to do this. And when I got served, okay, actually, I took the note, and before I took the note, and I actually called the sheriff's office, and they said, we have some paperwork for you here. It looks like a serving of some paper. Okay, can I come down, pick it up? Yeah. I mean, I went and I served myself. I've never heard of that happening. I thought they had to come back, but I'm like, I have no problem driving down. I mean, it's in the same city. Fortunately, Redwood City is known as the county seat or the capital of San Mateo County, and all the government buildings are right here downtown. So I just had to drive downtown like a mile and a half.
5 minutes away.
Not a big deal. But before I went there, I'm like, this has got to be a restraining order. So I went to that deranged lolcow. That's what she called her channel, deranged lolcow farm or whatever. I went to her community wall, and she basically had posted a couple of screenshots of what I was about to be served. And then she even put on the top in the written part, while sharing the images, here you go, Eli. Sheriff should be around soon to serve you. And so,
how do you know?
So I looked at what she put out there before I even went to pick up the RO, after I had called the sheriff's office after they left that note, right? And,
but my point is, why does she have it and not the person who's actually suing him?
Correct. We're gonna get to that. Absolutely, babe. But so basically, now I'm trying to remember where I
I'm
left
so sorry.
off. No, it's okay. So I looked at the pictures that she shared in the community wall. She actually put the case number there and the county of where it's at. And then I'm starting to think to myself, okay, so I'm getting served by somebody in Florida that's not her. Who else do I know that lives in Florida that would even consider filing something on me, even as a troll? And we're not going to mention that woman's name, but it starts with a P. And I will just refer to her as P, okay? The letter P.
Ms. P.
Miss P. Yeah, exactly. Miss P, Miss T. They don't like it when we do that. And other people think that we're big sissies. No, it's not about being big sissies. We don't want to give them any notoriety. Now, there's nothing illegal about mentioning their first name. We just don't want to give them any notoriety, okay? We don't care. So I'm like, this has got to be that P woman. And this P woman used to support our channel little over 6 months ago for about a 6 or 8 month period. Until about 6 months ago, she supported our channel. She donated a good amount of money and was very, very nice. And then one day, all of a sudden, she said that she was blocked and she couldn't chat. I never blocked her. Don never blocked her. No one ever blocked her. I went into the back end of YouTube called YouTube Studio, and I checked. She still had her. She was a moderator. She still had her moderator wrench. She was not blocked, but she was going all over these drama groups that had been attacking us for years, and saying that she was blocked. And I told her, try to type something, right? But apparently, she said she still couldn't type. Well, I don't know what happened. As far as on my end and our end, you were never ever banned, right? And that's when she flipped to the other side. So I figured it has to be her, because you see, I know people's names and stuff, and you can legally run a background check on anyone as long as you don't put the information out publicly and you're just doing research for yourself. Nothing wrong with that. I did a background check, and I'm like, before I went to the sheriff's office, and I found the address of this woman that I thought it was, and then I took the city of the address and said, what county is this in? And it's the same freaking county as shown on that other woman's community wall of where this case is going to be at. This restraining order or stalking case is at. I go down to the sheriff's office. I get there. There's a very nice sheriff at the front. Very nice lady. You have to go through a metal detector. And it wasn't busy. And I was sharing with her what's going on and this and that. I said, yeah, some people on YouTube, they're serving me with a fraudulent restraining order. I've dealt with this before. This is not the first time. I got to do what I got to do, So I'm just coming to get my papers. The sheriff's tried to come to the house. They left a note. No one was there to open the door, blah, 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 right? I go and I get the papers. It was exactly that lady, right? Then I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. We're getting emails from people behind the scenes that know us are talking to us, and we're keeping our mouth shut this whole time. Not because we're afraid of anything. It's just, there's a time to talk and a time to stay quiet, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Right? There's a
time. Read the room.
There's a time to talk and a time to stay quiet, right? And now's our time to talk because we've come a long way. So, yeah, I filed my response, right? And I even put the case together, including, the former lady that tried to get a restraining order on me. I submitted a 20-page document to the judge, and I was also trying to get remote appearance. And I remember the last time I got denied, and I was thinking maybe that the woman that filed this order on me, that P woman, and this other woman, we'll call her T, the T woman that tried to get an RO on me in the past, maybe they're thinking I'm going to get denied remote appearance, and then they'll just show up without me appearing and try to force this restraining order on me. That's horseshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're not talking into your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Back, kind of relaxing and listening.
Even when you're doing that, and you go that far back, it's not going to really pick it up that
much. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just leaning back.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to go and you're back here, it won't pick you up. But anyway,
silly me.
No worries. So now I requested remote appearance. I filed my paperwork like a week in advance before the date. I had plenty of time to get it set up this time. I was actually served within a reasonable amount of time this time, more than 2 weeks in advance, unlike the T woman that purposefully served me, with 2 business days, less than 2 business days and less than 4 days total to make all this happen, right? Anyway, I called the courts on, what was it, Monday, and we had to appear this past Wednesday. I called the courts on Monday, and they forwarded me to the supervisor in charge of getting things, through to the judge and getting remote appearance handled quickly, right? So they did transfer me to her. I left her a voicemail with all the information. I said, you don't have to even call me back. You can email me or just leave me a text message or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then the very next day, I believe it was Tuesday. I believe you had a dentist appointment.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
This past Tuesday, or by the time this goes out there, it'll be last Tuesday.
Week ago, yeah.
While we were at the dentist appointment, I got a email stating that I was approved for remote appearance. When I did my walking, I do walking with purpose streams. For those of you out there in podcast land, if you go up in the description, there'll be a video link to this, podcast that you're listening to audio only. Once you get to that video of this podcast, if you go in that description, you'll see a link to the other channel. The podcast is on GNA Genuine Life. It's on the main channel, GNA Genuine Personal Development, and then the other channel, GNA2 Genuine Life Personal Development, which you can find below in that description of that video. We'll link you over to our live streaming channel where I do Walking with Purpose streams almost every day, where I basically engage the audience, take a 2 to 3 to 4 mile walk almost every day. And people can ask me any questions, and I share stories and current events and stuff like that. Somebody came in the chat that day and said, I hear you got remote appearance. Best of luck to you. And
okay.
and we banned them, but they were actually trying to make us aware of something. They were trying to make us aware that the other side wasn't happy about that, right? And the only other person besides me that knew I got approved for remote appearance was the P woman. So this P woman, unless, no, it was only her because it goes to her email. This P woman probably gave the information to this other T woman for her channel, and they probably all talked behind the scenes. We were talking behind the scenes that Tuesday, that Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night before we were supposed to appear, or I'm supposed to appear in court on Wednesday. And we were saying they're probably not going to show up. Now that I got remote appearance, they're not going to be dumb enough to show up. What are they going to put out there? And when I actually tried to get a restraining order on this T woman about 4 months ago, I was denied with prejudice because of the distance. But there were a lot of compelling things that the judge accused her of in that case, such as, sending the police here to our house for a wellness check, an unwarranted wellness check on you, right? And the funny thing was that what she based that wellness call on was what was it, September 28th? September, October. It was a month before we went to the Jason Aldean concert. I can't remember the date. It was a month before she made that call. I believe it was on October 1st. What was it? 2023, I think it was. And the judge asked her, what does this date a month prior have to do with the date of October 1st, right? So basically, she tried to make a wellness call on the video she saw on YouTube of where you were having a bad moment, and she called in that wellness call over 4 weeks after that incident. Now, what are your thoughts about that? You haven't had a chance to talk about that.
Well, I haven't really had a chance to talk, period. Yeah. It's, it's really hard to put my head around why these people think this way and why they do the things that they do. But as far as T lady, she's exhausted everything she has. She really has.
Yeah.
She has nowhere else to go. And what she did, calling 4 weeks later, even the officers that came over to check on me were like, what is this about? Like, 4 weeks later, I come there. This woman is just fine. Their
Yeah.
house is kept. It's quiet. I was just lying on the couch watching TV, and he was in the office. There was nothing going on, like nothing going on.
Yeah, they
So,
left. They left less than 10 minutes after they came in. Everything was all
they
good.
just walked downstairs, saw I was okay, and turned around and left. And then the second one, now we're not sure who called, but we have our assumptions that they called in May of last year to my parents' house when we were visiting there for Memorial Day weekend. Now, why? They all knew that I was having a medical emergency. I was scared during that, and I said I don't want to die because I was scared. I was having a seizure.
No, you had no. You already
had a seizure.
You already had the seizure, and your doctor said if it lasts less than 5 minutes, you don't have to call 911. And so, and here's the thing, babe. When you were walking, we were having like coffee with your parents after we just woke up. I think we were going to leave that day, but we
were going to leave that day.
We stayed another day. What happened was I've been following you around everywhere, and I was following you around to make sure that you weren't going to fall or anything or have a seizure because you're seizure prone. So I was following you. You started to go back to
the
apartment, which is, away from the main house. And then as we got close to the apartment, you started to have that look, and then I saw you having a seizure and you were going to fall, and I caught you.
Mm-hmm.
Or else you would have fallen on asphalt. You might have broken your head open. And out there, the medical emergency system is shit compared to what
and it's super far. They're in the mountains.
Yeah, they're in the mountains.
It'll take an ambulance at least 30 to 40 minutes to get there.
So that's what happened there. And then I yelled for your parents, and your father came over, and I backed off to give some space. Your father came over. Your mother was flipping the fuck out.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
she had never seen you have a seizure before. But I'd seen every single one.
And my dad is a very strong, stoic man. He doesn't show his emotions. And he took care of the situation as far as emotion-wise. He got my mom calmed down. He got me calmed down. He even got Eli calmed down. So he took over the situation, and there was nothing going on. I was scared. And I had my mom there, and we were having a moment. And that's all it was.
Yeah.
Literally, I was looking into my mother's eyes saying, I don't want to die. And
your mother was not...
my mom was hysterical. I was hysterical. And I looked into her eyes and I said, I don't want to die, Mom. I just don't want to die. And that's all it was. Period. So to take advantage of that vulnerable time in my life is really disgusting. It really is.
You motherfuckers out there should be ashamed of yourselves.
You really should.
You're gonna try to say, well, because I was doing a live stream, I opened the door to check on Dawn. I was right outside of the apartment, and she just said, I don't want to die. Like, you guys are listening that closely. That was so faintly said. Like, these people were looking for a reason to fuck with me and fuck with you and fuck with us. And that's the thing. Like, honestly, I don't think any of the people really gave a shit. They just wanted to fuck with us. That's all. It was a serious situation, and you guys wanted to use that for content, or you just don't like us and you're trying to get revenge along with your, stupid drama horrors on YouTube. That's all it is. That's all it is. Or that's all it was, right, baby?
Yes. I'm sorry. I've forgotten to turn the sound off on my phone.
That's okay.
Before starting, so I had to go and silence that. I apologize for that. But...
So basically, that was another wellness call. Now, somebody had said, some woman, I can't remember what her name was, like Meow or something, some Meow channel, said that she did it, but I don't know. And I tried to get in that county, Mariposa County, where your parents live. I tried to get the information of the audio, the call audio, and they said that they don't give it out because it's a medical reason. Okay, well, what if I had Don request it? I mean, I thought it was bullshit. I could have probably fought that Freedom of Information Act for you, but I said, you know what, I don't. We let it go. This was, I tried to get that last year, but yeah. So those are a lot of the things that a lot of these people have done regarding trying to use us for content and stuff like that. As far as what else? I forgot what I was going to say, Dave. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Not at this point.
Not at this point. Okay. So
I have to kind of stop the tears and compose myself.
That's as raw and real as it gets. So yeah, mad respect. So going back to the case where that T woman incited the P woman to file a frivolous restraining order on me because she, like you said, had exhausted everything she could do, and if she tried to do it again, then it would be way too obvious, right? And she could be dealing with legal ramifications from the state, right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Is it still? It still hurts, huh?
It does. It does.
Talk about it, please.
Because it caused issues. Caused issues with my mom. She didn't want that to be out there. So there's issues personally with that. And then there's other issues of my parents' privacy. They are private people. They do not need my world to invade their private zone. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so it's right now, my parents are being very protective of their home. And they shouldn't have to be with their
your dad
daughter.
has shotguns.
What?
Your dad's a big Second Amendment believer.
Oh.
Your dad has shotguns, I said.
Oh, yeah. My dad has everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have to. You have to have shotguns in
you
the
mess
fucking
with
mountains.
You mess with Mr. Ledgerwood and he'll fuck you up. He's a nice guy. He's a really, really nice guy. And so
it'll take him a long time.
And when her mom isn't triggered, she's nice too. When her mom is triggered, we all run. We all
conversation.
Her dad, and I, we both run like hell. When either of these Ledgerwood women are triggered, man, we just go the fuck the other way. All right, baby.
You're learning that now after talking with my dad and getting advice from him that you just shut your mouth and walk away.
Oh yeah, as you get older, you learn. I'm also 51, but yeah, your dad's a little older than me, so yeah, he knows. Yeah. He has a little more experience.
Turning 70.
And he's also been married to your mom a very long time, so
47 years.
Yeah, that's awesome, baby. Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what ended up happening with that RO case was we got remote appearance, and then I also asked for any witnesses to have remote appearance, and the judge granted it. And so Dawn and I, we needed the court starts at 8:15, but they said, get on, 10 minutes early on Zoom. Now, that's 8:15 Central Time, because this county was in the small part of Florida that's right by Alabama, I believe, and it's in the Central Time Zone. And it's fun. And so it's not funny, but maybe it is. I don't know. These people in that part of Florida, they talk like they're from Alabama. They have like the accent, like the Alabama, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, am I actually calling Florida? I thought people in Florida didn't have an accent. When you go down to like Orlando and Miami and all that, but you're like in this area, which I'm not going to mention. It's like really being, in one of the southern states. It's like being like in Alabama or one of those like Texas or something like that, right? Where they have the accent, right? So you and I were saying we're going to be on at 8 a.m. on the Zoom Central Time, which is 6 a.m. Go ahead, baby.
Pretty early,
6 a.m. Pacific Time here, right?
So we were up at 5 a.m.
Shit, I was up at 4:30.
Yeah, you were.
And you were up at about 5. And I was saying, baby, you want to sleep a little bit much? Oh, I'm awake now. I'm ready to go. Dawn was ready to go. Dawn was actually looking forward to being a witness, huh, babe?
Oh, yeah. I wish I would have been there the first time, but we didn't feel it was necessary. But now I definitely wanted to be there because I was there in support of Eli, and I needed to show he has support. And that's why this next time, if we need it, we will have a lot of support there.
Oh, we're going to get to that because we have a little bit more of this story to share, and then we'll get into the Easter storytelling is only going to take about maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, because I'll tell you honestly, you're going to have more Easter stories than me. Mine are pretty much the same every year. And
yeah, mine are pretty basic too. So that's why I did speak with my mom this morning just to kind of go over like everything that was traditionally wise or what we did. And not that I don't remember, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything extra that we did that I was maybe not remembering it from a child. But no, I got the information. We'll talk about that later. My mother and I had a fantastic conversation. She just got home from New York, Manhattan. She went there with my niece.
Start spreading the news.
Yeah, and they stayed on Broadway.
I'm leaving today.
And they had the best time.
And I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
It was really awesome. She told me for the first time in her life.
Yeah.
She walked across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, wow.
And in 70 years, she's never walked across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Has your mom ever walked across the Golden Gate Bridge? You know you can do that too.
I don't think my mom has, but she grew up in Brooklyn.
You know what? I will take your family to walk across the Golden Gate Bridge one of these times.
Yeah, that will be fun.
That would be great.
Catch a game?
Yeah, we can catch a game over out there in San Francisco. Even though we're only half an hour south of San Francisco, the traffic is
stupid.
It's just ridiculous out there now, and it's just so expensive to go to San Francisco. Like, it was expensive when I was growing up. It was expensive. Now it's like out fucking rageous.
Yeah,
it's just out
it's
fucking
like
rageous.
$50 or $60 to park your car.
Yeah, it used to be like $30 back then. I was like, fuck, $30. Like 30 years ago.
And that was not in the parking lot of the actual stadium. That was outside.
Well, I'm talking anywhere. If you go to Fisherman's Wharf or downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And back then, parking in those garages was $30 to $35. Now it's like fucking $60.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But what are we going to do, right? No. So.
We love SF. We love San Fran. We love the Bay Area. But damn.
The Giants.
It's a tourist trap, right, baby?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the only thing. I love my Giants. I love, but I did all my sightseeing when I was younger.
When you were younger? Yeah.
Well, not even just as a child, but younger. I would bring my kids there. So I was in my 20s, 30s. I was still going there. But yeah, it got to a point where it was way too crowded. And in fact, one of the times when we went there when I was a child, my youngest brother, got distracted by this man who was doing like a puppet of monkeys. Like, he was doing this puppet show. They were on the marionettes, and my baby brother just got so enthralled with it that we're like, okay, come on with us. And we all thought he was there, and he was just stuck watching the monkeys. And it took us like 3 minutes to realize, because there's so many people out there. So it's just so crowded and diverse. And so it's when you live so close, it's not worth it, Right. I mean, we could do it at any time, off season, but it's still not even worth it for the cost.
Oh, alone. Yeah. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
So you and I we get on the Zoom at at 6 a.m. our time, 8 a.m. their time. 8:15 comes their time, so let's say 6:15 our time. So court's supposed to start 6:15 a.m. our time, right? We're just going to refer to that specific time. 6:30 a.m. comes. We're still not on the Zoom. About 6:35 a.m., they put us on Zoom, and it's one judge literally handling a whole docket of cases. And we had to sit through an entire case of a woman that was trying to get a restraining order on her neighbor because of him looking over her fence and her neighbor threatening one time to kill her dog or shoot her dog, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, she was not represented. She was pro se, but the defendant, the respondent, aka the defendant, the respondent, had an attorney that was pretty damn good, actually. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, they're both presenting a good case, but I just don't think it's going to be enough for a restraining order. I was thinking in my head, and I'm sure you were thinking the same thing. And the judge actually denied her temporary was denied, and the judge denied the permanent one as well.
Yeah, she was trying to get the restraining order because of the threats and everything that made her kids feel uncomfortable.
The threat to the dog.
But and yeah, the dog, but like she was trying to say that he was not allowed to walk the fence line in his own yard and make duck sounds.
Yeah, she was a little ridiculous.
And it's like he could do whatever the hell he wants to in his own backyard as long as he doesn't cross that barrier.
They were also friends and they were getting along for a while, and she even said some nice things about him. And it's like, listen, the moment you say one nice thing about someone you're trying to get an RO on, it's game over for you. You're going to lose your case.
Yeah, but I think she was trying to establish some credibility that it didn't start off as just being angry at each other. She knows the man. They talk about the neighbors, the dogs, all of that. And so she needed to establish that at one point, the dogs didn't bother him. And that's why she went back to those things. Because it was something that suddenly changed out of nowhere.
Yeah, and she has kids, and she's a single mom, and so I get it. Mom, she was being Mama Bear, and I get it. But
oh yeah,
still, I was listening to her case, and because I've been to court so many times now over these stupid fucks on YouTube filing frivolous cases, that I've just learned to understand, what's going to get you on RO and what's not. Okay, I've learned that, and it's not easy getting on RO on anyone. You basically have to, especially if it's across state lines, you have to basically have clear proof of a death threat, right? And pretty much the same thing, if it's offline, there has to be, fear of your life ending, one way or another, or somebody beating you up, or domestic violence or something like that, right, baby?
Oh yeah.
And when that's not there, I mean, you're just not going to get it, right?
Oh, and yeah, and I found out yesterday that this woman, the T woman, tried with another friend of ours, and that friend was actually fearful of her life. She did not engage with anything else with her because she genuinely was scared of what this woman was capable of. And I'm like, and this woman, my friend, should not be afraid of anybody. She's, she's pretty sassy herself. But that's ridiculous. Like it came to that level where she actually feared for her own safety as well as her child's safety.
Wow.
And I think you know who I'm talking about, right?
Is it one of your friends or one of our
in our community?
I don't know who you're talking about, but you don't have to mention it.
I'm not going to mention it here.
Were you talking about this privately with the ladies? Because I don't recall this.
Okay.
So yeah, the thing is,
it happened on the show yesterday, but it's okay.
It happened on the show yesterday.
Yeah, with in the comments while we were talking, so you might have missed those comments.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember me saying, "Come on, blank," her name.
Yeah, I might have missed that. Sometimes when you're doing live streams on YouTube and it's held for review, you can't see that as the channel owner running the stream. I don't know why you used to be able to. They took that away. YouTube needs to fix their mobile streaming app. They even have the front facing camera as a flipped image, so if you put text by it, it's backwards. So that wasn't happening in the past, but now it is, and hopefully they fix it. Actually, it happened once in the past, and they fixed it within a few weeks. This time, it's been ongoing for months. But anyway, so after that case ended, the judge had a few more was going through, and then he goes, let me clear out some cases before we get to the other trials, the possible trials. And then he came to us on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
He came to us on Zoom. At first, he couldn't hear me, and then he could hear me. Thank God. I reset my audio. I don't know what happened. I said, I'm here, Your Honor. He was like, who else is there with you? My girlfriend Dawn's here to testify on my behalf. Character witness. And then
then he addressed me, asking my name and then what I was there for.
Right.
So I just
reiterated. Said Dawn Ledgerwood?
Yeah, I said Dawn Ledgerwood.
That's right. That's your name, Dawn Ledgerwood.
Yes. And just reiterated what was already what Eli had already said.
Right.
So. And
then, the judge saw no one else remotely and said, is the petitioner Miss blah, blah, blah here? And Don and I heard nothing. Okay, the petitioner is not here. This case is dismissed without prejudice. Okay. Well, my case in California gets dismissed with prejudice. Theirs gets dismissed without prejudice. Whatever.
Who cares? Whatever.
Whatever, right? Anyway. It actually does matter because you can't file on the previous stuff.
Yeah.
They can, I can't, but
what's the big deal about it?
If anyone tries to do the RO thing again, it's just going to make them look really stupid and possibly get them in trouble with the law and make them a vexatious litigant is what they call it. Someone that is litigious and files lawsuits when the wind is blowing the wrong way, right, baby? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I said, is there anything else you need from us, Your Honor? And he said, nope. Have a good day. I said, have a great day, Your Honor, and thank you very much. And then, boom, we were out.
We were out.
And then I was like, because we were talking the night before with the executive team, Tia, who was going to be on this show, but like we mentioned earlier, she is not feeling well today. And then Sandra, our other executive, we were talking on the phone 2 times the night before. We were supposed to appear remotely, and we were saying they're not going to show up, especially now that I got remote appearance. They're not going to show up because if let's say the original woman shows up, she's actually a nice woman that we feel was coerced into filing this, and if we had not got remote appearance, she would have probably shown up along with that T woman, and they would have probably tried to get it to go through. But had they shown up with us being there, that T woman, if she was going to be a witness to the P woman, what's up?
Can I take a quick potty break?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Don's going to go use the restroom real quick. Let me turn off the video for right now. And Dawn's going to take a quick potty break. And while she does that, let me just remind you folks, we'll continue the show when she gets back, that if you are watching the audio-only version of this podcast, if you are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, it's even on YouTube Music as well, or any of the other many various unknown platforms out there, you can do a Google search and find us. Okay. And if you want to watch the video version, just go in the description of wherever you find the audio version, and there's a link there to this current video version of the podcast. When you get there, please subscribe to our main channel that, host the video version of these podcasts, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. After you do that, go below the description of that video. You'll see a link to our secondary channel, our live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Click that link, go over there, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and then you can catch us when we go live from the studio, or when I go live from my Walking with Purpose streams. I do them almost every day. Yeah, that's the way to keep in touch with us. And we're about to hit episode number 1000. As of the day we're recording this, Sunday, April 20th, 2025, I just did episode number 992 yesterday. And after that, by the time this gets released on Wednesday, probably not going to walk today. Probably going to walk Tuesday. Probably going to walk Monday and Tuesday. So we'll be at episode number 994 by the time this gets released this Wednesday, April 23rd at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And we're going to be only 6 episodes away from episode number 1000. It's going to happen probably like a week from this Wednesday. And a week from this Wednesday, wow, that is April 30th. Dawn is back?
Yes, I am back.
May I put the camera back on for our video viewers?
You may. Wonderful. There we are.
There we are.
Sorry, guys.
We're good. Episode number 1000 is going to be a special episode with Dawn and I. I don't know. She might go on a walk with me, or I might just, do what's called go live together, and I'll walk and she'll just, get on her phone from here. It depends on how she feels that day. Because, Dawn has her medical stuff, so, I don't push her. She has to be feeling medically well. And she is.
Especially from a walk with him.
Right.
We don't want to have anything happen while
slowly
we're
but surely, Dawn's made an amazing recovery, and we've talked a lot about maybe we'll do another show to get more into the stuff we talked about the launch episode, or talked about on the launch episode of this podcast. But yeah, proud of you, baby.
Thank you.
So let's continue.
Yes.
So we're at exactly 1 hour right now. Not bad. So
let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited to go eat Easter dinner, baby.
Oh, it's not going to be ready for another 3.5 hours.
I know, but I'm still excited.
Okay. So, that was that case, and yeah, it's just ridiculous, how it all played out. Now, amongst this same group of people, and I'll mention his name. His name is Jamie. A lot of people have known this guy. I've known this guy on YouTube. He has, I'm just going to say, people refer to him as Lycan. His channels are Lycan this, Lycan that, Lycan blank, whatever he wants to call them. I've known this guy for over 7 years. And when I first met him, he was about to leave YouTube. I basically met him because I was made aware 6 months after starting my first real attempt at being a YouTuber a little over 7 years ago. I was made aware by a subscriber that, the MGTOW community would be a great place to, help people and get my content out to. And we did a show on MGTOW last week, almost 3 hours long. If you missed it, go back and check it out. A lot of great information there. Right, baby?
Oh, God, I learned so much. Did that go down a little bit?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
And he told me, he goes, you're probably more purple pill MGTOW. You understand, the stove is hot, and dating or getting married in the modern world can be challenging financially and otherwise, but you appreciate women and you proceed with the caution and awareness of the red pill, right? So you're purple pill. So I went out looking for a purple pill channel, and I found this Jamie guy. He had the largest purple pill channel on YouTube. I reached out to him, and we set up a time to have a conversation over what was called Google Hangouts on Air back then. And I didn't even know this, but this motherfucker was already recording me. The first time that we talked, he was recording me. My first interaction with him, he knew nothing about me. This says a lot about this motherfucker's character.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, right? I was trying to be nice to him, and when we got on the call, he was asking me, well, what is it that you want? I said, I just want to get to know you and collaborate. You're the largest Purple Pill channel, and our content's very similar. He was making okay content back then. He was fully monetized, and then all of a sudden, YouTube started demonetizing channels. And he lost a lot of ad revenue, and he was about to quit and give up. And to make a long story short in this aspect, I convinced him to keep moving forward. I'd help him out. We did some live streams together, yada, yada, yada. Probably the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. Because I didn't know what this guy was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we fast forward another year later, he started to rebroadcast me. He started to do a lot of crazy things through other people so he can try to keep his hands clean. But I know he was the one at the end of it all. And to make a long story short, for the last 7 years, maybe 5.5, 6 years, he's been rebroadcasting almost all of my live streams every day as they happen live. Or if we do a pre-recorded piece of content like this, then he will do a separate live stream. Either him or that other T woman we were talking about. They're in bed together now. Figuratively speaking, they're now in bed together because the Eli drama thing has lost so much traction that they need to combine. Join. They need to merge, is what they call it, right? To be able to try to keep it going, right?
Look who's making his camera debut.
Well, he's been on camera. Well, maybe
not for the podcast.
This is the podcast, right? Bochi was on last week, wasn't he?
I don't know if we got in the actual screen, but
okay.
Look at him. Look at me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So, over the past many years, Jamie's rebroadcast a lot of my content. He's made a lot of money off my name and likeness. He's taken my professional image that I took with my bare hands with a camera stand and a timer with my professional camera. And it's the picture I use all over social media, including YouTube and my YouTube thumbnails, profile pictures everywhere on social media, including YouTube. It represents me. And this motherfucker has taken that picture and has basically put it on memes like there's no tomorrow. And it got to the point of where last year I got tired of this guy playing the copyright system. Because here's what he would do. That's very distracting to me, Dave.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. She's playing with the dog. You can see it on the video part. But she's focused on the dog, and it's like I get distracted very easily. So last year, I decided to do something that I needed to do. I decided to get a copyright registration from the U.S. Copyright Office. So from the U.S. Copyright Office, I decided to get a copyright registration for my Coach Eli professional picture that I created back in 2017. And the reason why I did that is because this is the problem when these people rebroadcast your entire streams to a hate audience and then they're making money at your expense, right? The problem is if you take them down for copyright, they file a counter notification on YouTube. And if you don't file a legal action on them, if you don't file in a copyright court on them within 10 business days, YouTube will reinstate their video and nothing happens to them. They get away with violating your copyright. Well, a few years back, they created the Small Claims Copyright Board. Now, with the Small Claims Copyright Board, you don't necessarily need a copyright certificate when you file, but you even need a copyright certificate. You need to file for one at the same time as you're filing, or they won't take your case. The dogs.
Thank you. They love their mama.
So, but before the Small Claims Copyright Board was created, the only place you could file a copyright case is in federal court, which requires you to have a U.S. Copyright Office registration of whatever you're filing on, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, "Fuck it." Last year, I'm gonna get this registered. So when these motherfuckers continue to deface my professional image, I'm gonna take them to court. Because I used to threaten in the past that, I'm gonna take them to court, and I never did.
Mm-hmm.
This time, it's for real.
It's for real.
It's for real.
Real.
So this Jamie guy has continued to violate my copyright by simulcasting my streams, but more importantly, he's taking parts or sometimes all of my professional image and putting it over other images he doesn't own and making memes out of them and displaying them on his screen. He did a stream early on in January of this year, 2025, where he showed all the screenshots. He called it like the burial of Eli in 2025 or something. And what he did unknowingly there is give me all of my evidence for my case.
Mm-hmm.
He showed every image that he used my professional image. And he's going to say it's fair use. But no, because here's the thing. Fair use has to be transformative in nature. And if you use it for commercial purposes, it's less likely to be considered fair use.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what this guy doesn't realize is that the fact that he's using it for commercial purposes, and I can prove he's using it for commercial purposes because, number one, he has a ticker at the bottom of his screen that says, he calls me the cuck, right? So that it used to be Coach Eli. He calls me the cuck, right? Whatever. Cuck Eli Fund or Trigger Eli Fund. And then he puts in his chat and he pins it, Trigger Eli Fund or Trigger the Cuck Fund, right? And then he not only says the amount as the donation comes in while he's live, but he puts the total amount at the bottom of his ticker. So in essence, this guy is basically handing me all the evidence I need without having to do any work. Now there's a little bit of work, but like that one stream, and I actually filed a copyright on that stream. I actually took the guy down for copyright yesterday, as of the day of this recording, the 20th of April. On April 19th, I took him down for copyright, and he got really, really triggered.
Yeah.
And then he kept on doing stupid shit. So I said, okay, well, you file your counter notification, then I'm going to take you to court.
It's like a child. The child gets in trouble, you take the toy away. If that doesn't work, you put them on timeout. And if that doesn't work, then you send them away.
Well, right. And so, he said he was not going to file a counter notification. The reason why he's not doing that is because this guy is actually circumventing. He was removed from YouTube on 5 channels for massively violating the terms of service. And once you get removed from one YouTube channel, you're not welcome back again. If they find out you come back, they can take you down. Mm-hmm. So he's like, if somebody files a copyright on me, and I file a counter notification, YouTube copyright, or YouTube might just see it's me and take me down. So I filed 2 copyright strikes on him. I wasn't going to take his channel down, but I was going to see he was going to file a counter notification.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if he files that counter notification to try to reinstate it, then I'll take him to Small Claims Copyright Court, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the copyrights go down. He goes crazy and starts doing more stupid shit. So guess what? I said, I don't give a fuck if you don't file it. He said he was not going to file a counter notification. I don't give a fuck if you don't file one. I'm still going to take you to Small Claims Copyright Court. right? So before I get your thoughts, I did a stream yesterday on YouTube, and I shared all this, and he was rebroadcasting me while I was live, right? Fine, whatever. I don't care about that at this point. I do care about it, and we'll address the rebroadcasting in court as well, too. But I didn't really care at that point because I wanted him to hear what I had to say, and I wanted his audience to hear what I was going to say. But basically, I told them I'm gonna file in court, and they're not believing me. So guess what? Right before we recorded this, and I don't care. I'll put it out publicly because eventually it has to go through approval, and then I have to serve him. Right? I actually filed the entire case, and it's now submitted for approval. By the time you guys watch this, guys and gals watch this on Wednesday, I mean, there may be newer information than this, and I'll probably update people on the YouTube side of things. That's why if you're here in podcast land, subscribe to our 2 YouTube channels. Okay, you can do so by going to the link of where this video version of the podcast is at, and then you can subscribe to that channel, and then go in the description, and you'll see our secondary channel, GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development. Subscribe to that too, and then you'll know everything the minute it happens, because we're on YouTube almost every day, right, babe?
Literally every day.
Yeah. And so I filed it. Now I'm waiting for approval. And once that gets approved, I'm going to serve him. And first of all, you know what he said, baby? He goes, you have to find me first. Okay. Well, I can find you, and I have. I know where you live. I'm not going to dox your address. I've known where you've moved to when you moved out of your apartment. Not your apartment, your condo. I know where you moved to. It's very simple, right? And while your family's done a really good job to separate, like your mom and dad have done a really good job to separate them from your name, there's ways to connect the dots. So I know where you're at. It's not a big deal. I just need to know where to serve you. And also in Florida, you can hand papers to anyone
who opens the door.
Whoever opens the door, like if his mom or dad, listen, we share a house with my mother here. This is another thing this guy says. We share a house with my mother here. We have our own in-law unit. We pay our own way. This guy lives with his parents, never talks about it. So we'll just, if he's not there to get served, then his mom will get served or his dad will get served. Right?
Yeah.
And then if he wants to go and tell his mom, if somebody comes to serve me, I'm being sued again. What are his parents gonna think?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, they've got to think, what is this guy doing? What is wrong with him? How do I slap the stupid out of my own kid?
Yeah. Now, I went and I listened to their stream yesterday on April 19th. We're recording this on the 20th. I went to go listen to their stream because I wanted to hear where they were at. And this Jamie guy had that T woman on, and they used to hate each other. And there are other people that used to be a part of Jamie's group that despise this woman for the same reasons we do. But now, as far as Jamie goes, he's got nowhere left to go. He has to merge with the T woman in order to keep this going. And without this, he has nothing. Same with her.
Nothing.
They have nothing without us. So now they have to merge because it's gotten so, it basically fewer and fewer people are interested and they're making less money than they used to. So now they got to merge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
what
now,
they don't realize is that the people that have been also attacked by these individuals are now merging with us because they have been treated the same way we have been treated.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're fed up also. So they are going to come to us and give all their testimony as well. So
right.
Have yours, we have ours.
So, this T woman is trying to help Jamie.
Sorry.
And so somebody in their chat said that, Elias an LLC, and LLCs in Florida cannot self-represent themselves in federal court, copyright or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. I'm a single member LLC, meaning that I'm the only member of the LLC. Now, I've got a team of executives. I can hire those people, but they're not a part of the LLC unless I make them a part of the LLC. So right now, the only person protected by the LLC is me, right? But anyway, even single member LLCs, not only in Florida, but in California, and I believe in most states, are not, or a corporation or any type of other entity, they're not allowed to represent themselves, like pro se represent themselves in any federal court case, including copyright.
Mm-hmm.
But you can represent yourself as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what these people were saying. Oh, Eli's going to have to get an attorney and spend all that money. First of all, I might still get an attorney. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. But what was that?
But you just messed up the carpet down there. That's okay. No, he just pushed it out of the way.
Oh, is he okay?
Oh, yeah. He just was moving it so he could lay down.
Oh, yeah. And when he just drops down, he's 45 pounds of solid muscle. And when that dog drops, it's like an earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's what he was doing.
So, baby, so they're trying to say, oh, well, he can't afford the attorney and there's no way he'll take you to federal court. So you just opt out of small claims court and, whatever, right? It's not going to go anywhere. No, that's not true. Because like I posted on my community wall that they've already probably seen. When you have a copyright certificate on something, okay, you can register it with both the business name of the organization and your actual name. And you can actually file a copyright case as an individual or on behalf of the business.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't want to pay for an attorney, or let's say I can't afford to pay for an attorney, if I needed to get an attorney, or if I need to get an attorney, I will find a way to pay for it. And how I pay for it is none of your fucking business, right? But if I want to represent myself, I'll just file in federal copyright court as an individual. Because the copyright certificate, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter whether it's business or personal. What matters is it shows who owns the copyright. I own the copyright. My name is on that. The GNA is on there as well for more protection, but I can use that certificate and file as an individual person and represent myself in federal court.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in small claims court, I filed under the GNA because I can do that. And if they need me to change that, I will. It doesn't matter. Honestly, I really don't care. Filing as an individual or business, it doesn't matter. What matters is my copyright has been infringed, and we're going to finally handle this. And we're going to stop people from abusing, our right to free enterprise on YouTube by defacing our professional stuff and our content and all that. This guy just doesn't stop. This guy's been in many court cases. Many people have tried to get restraining orders on him. Some people have taken him to copyright court and he opted out. And he basically has been playing the system like a spoiled little bitch baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a spoiled entitled millennial. He's 39 years old and he's never learned responsibility. Well, I'm going to teach him responsibility once and for all. What are your thoughts about this case real quick? And then we're going to get to the final part of the show and talk about Easter for the last 15, 20 minutes. We're at an hour and 23 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. My thoughts on this whole court case and everything. I am in 100% of support of going through with this. It has gotten ridiculous honestly, I really feel it's ridiculous to have to take this to a court, even, small claims. That's ridiculous. This is YouTube shit.
Yeah.
Let's leave it on the YouTube and not get personal, not go real life with our families. We chose to be, in the social, to be public figures. Okay. My mom didn't sign up for that. His mom didn't sign up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they should not be a part of this at all. And when you cross that line, like we said, you mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. I'm a Taurus. I wouldn't fuck with me. I could get going and I'll be right by your side 100%. You fire me up and I'm gonna go.
Yeah. And the main problem is this guy, and other people, anytime someone new comes around, They find out who they are, and then they tag them in postings, and then they basically share past video clips they've made of me where I said a few nasty things like 5-6 years ago. And they do that to every person, intentionally destroying our audience. And then that way those people will go over to his end and the other T-Woman's end, and then they can restream us and make money off our own content. These people have been making money off our own content, and we're going to stop it once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we're putting it out here, because we want you folks to know that if you ever go through this, or if you're currently going through this, or have gone through this and given up, reach out to us, because we can actually help you protect yourself the right way and get this to stop. Like, I've never met any person like this Jamie guy and this T-Woman. They just don't stop. No matter how much legalese that you throw their way, like I got all my ducks in a row, they still don't care. They're going to continue to abuse our content, our copyrighted content, pictures and video and audio and all that, until we legally stop them. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going all the way to federal court. And federal court in your area, Jamie, I forgot what, let me see here. Yeah, I posted on my community wall, but let's see, Florida. Yeah, it's the Middle District of Florida court, which is his, based on where he lives. So we'll be going to the Middle District of Florida court. If I have an attorney, I'll file under the GNA. If I represent myself, I'll file as an individual, and we're going all the way. This is the one time, and I'm making this very clear, to stand up for anyone that's been bullied. Like, this guy has bullied me, and listen, I'm not trying to be a little bitch here or anything, but he has bullied me. He has stolen. It's not even bullying. Yes, it is bullying, but more so, this guy has exploited my content for monetary gain. He has made memes with my professional image, and it's proven it's for monetary gain. It is not fair use, and he's finally going to be brought to justice. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts before we get to the last part of the show?
No.
Well, the main part of the show, which we didn't even have this in the title. So, today, we're talking about Easter. Happy Easter and the importance of family, right, baby?
Yes,
you like the background here?
I love the background. Very Eastery.
Yeah, easy on the eyes.
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, baby, what are your thoughts about Easter? What do you think about when you think of Easter? You think about Easter eggs?
No, I think about family dinner, just gathering around the family.
What about as a little girl?
The dinner table. What?
Did you have Easter egg hunts as a little girl?
Oh, yeah, that went.
Don't forget the Easter egg hunts, baby.
Oh, yeah, no, but yeah, we had the Easter Bunny show up every year.
The Easter Bunny.
Yeah, and we'd hide the eggs.
Was his name Cadbury?
No.
You know the Cadbury cream eggs, right?
Yeah, because that's not an actual rabbit.
That's good shit, huh?
Yeah, but that's not a rabbit. So why would you even think his name would be Cadbury, dum-dum?
Well, they had a bunny on the commercial, of the Cadbury cream eggs. But go ahead, baby.
Okay. So, anyways, yeah, of course we had the egg hunt. We would get the family, all the cousins together, and they would set it up at one of the family's houses, whether it was mine or my aunt's or whoever. And that probably lasted maybe about 6 years. And then it was more at the house, but still Easter egg hunts, baskets, fantastic food, everybody there just having a great time, eating, drinking, conversating, it's just it's kind of low key. Easter's like that low key holiday. Yep. You don't have to buy a bunch of presents. You don't have to, worry about any of that stuff except for your kids. And that's fun, right?
It is.
Shopping for your kids is so much fun.
I bet.
So yeah, that's what we did. And as far as with my kids, same thing. Easter egg hunts in Grammy and Papa's backyard. And as they got older, we lived in apartment complexes that would do major Easter egg hunts for all the kids there. So that was always really fun for those kids to do. And they're outside playing with their friends. So it was so joyous, and seeing them run around trying to find all the eggs. And when I was growing up, there was always the egg with like the $20 bill.
Oh, yeah.
That was the jackpot egg. So my brothers and I were
a $20 bill was a lot of money back then, wasn't it?
Oh, as a child, yeah, that was like getting a hundo.
20 can be compared to like 100 nowadays.
Yeah.
At least out here in California, right, baby?
Well, yeah. Actually, now I think if you put a hundo in one, that the kids will be looking for more.
Right.
They're like inflation bunny.
A hundo won't get you shit, especially in California. It won't get you shit anymore.
They're like inflation bunny, okay?
Right, right. The inflation bunny.
But yeah, that was always fun to have that big, special egg out there. We all went crazy looking for it. So we followed a lot of the same traditions that I had with my family onto my children and the family I had then. So it was really nice.
You said you followed them.
Yeah, I followed the same traditions.
You know what? You reminded me of that commercial. Remember the Honda commercial? Follow the leader. He's on a Honda. You never heard that?
No, and I'm not a Honda commercial. No, my life is not a Honda commercial.
I think that was for Honda ATVs back then, if I remember correctly. Honda's made like every type of motorized.
It's about Honda now.
What's that?
Why is it about Honda?
Because you said follow. You mentioned the word follow. You followed
the same tradition.
The same tradition, and it just stuck in my head.
And you sidetracked,
I know,
you do,
baby. I had to make my one mistake of the show. Maybe my 10th mistake. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know where I stopped and
where
to
you were
begin.
Talking about your Easter egg hunts and all of that. And you were talking about, that
how we follow.
You follow tradition and all that.
Tradition with what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Now, as far as church, we would go to church. Like in the beginning, we went to church. Now, my father was raised Methodist, and his sisters got into the Baptist church, and it went against what my father was brought up on, and we didn't really acclimate to that type of church. And so there was no family church things going on. We had our own private things that we would do. And, that was that. But we were not big church people. My parents did not want to push religion on any one of us. They wanted us to make our own decisions.
Did they ever make you fast, or were they fast?
Oh, God,
themselves?
No, they didn't fast.
I got my stories. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, we didn't fast at all. We were just normal people waiting for our bunny to come on Sunday, bringing us a basket of goodies. That's all Easter was to us growing up. It wasn't until we became adults or older, adolescents, that we actually learned the meaning of Easter and what it's really about.
Yeah, and the meaning of Lent is also known as the Great Fast. That's where people fast.
They usually fast not always food. They fast something that they really like. Some people will fast
meat.
Coffee.
It's meat.
You could do anything for Lent. You keep the meat in there, but you could also say, hey, I want to give up coffee for Lent. I have known lots of people who've done that.
It's technically whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was agreeing. It's whatever you kind of want to do.
So Lent this year was from Monday, March 3rd, 2025 through Saturday, April 19th, 2025, which was yesterday.
Yes.
And today is obviously Easter for both, the American Catholic Easter and the Greek Orthodox Easter, which is my Easter.
And now mine.
And what's always been funny is that typically the American Easter has come first, and then the Greek Orthodox Easter
follows.
It follows. And a lot of people are saying, what is the difference between American and Greek Easter, the Catholics and the Orthodox? Well, they used to be the same exact church, but they split apart a long time ago because there were a few differences in the way they saw some events that happened, but we believe in the same God. We believe in Jesus and the same God, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they also believe like the date timeline is different. That's why every once in a while they'll fall on the same date, but they usually don't. So typically your Easter would come first. And then people would tell me, Happy Easter. I'm like, my Easter is not until a month from now. Sometimes they're a month apart.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to get used to that growing up, and especially now being on social media, Facebook and YouTube and all that. People wish you Happy Easter. Oh, well, mine's next week, or mine's...
At this point, you just go along, and you're like,
well,
Happy
you say thank
Easter,
you.
yeah.
I'm Greek Orthodox. Mine is in a few weeks, but yeah, thank you for the early Easter, and Happy Easter to you as well.
Yeah.
And you know, and that I just wanted to share that story because it is a little bit different. But during, you know, Lent, you're technically supposed to fast. My mother's been fasting. My aunt's been fasting. I doubt my brother's been fasting. I've never I can't do it.
No.
I'm sorry, God.
I'm sorry, God. You made me a carnivore.
I love meat. I'm God, Jesus, and to all the prophets. I was named after Prophet Elijah. My apologies for 51 years of fucking up on that. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for swearing. That's not even a good man. I look really bad right now, but it's okay. It's okay.
You're not making very many points.
My father is up, you know, in heaven now.
So he's having to cover your ass in heaven now.
You mentioned our friend, you know, Sam, that recently, you know, committed suicide. He's up there with my father. God rest his soul. They're probably laughing.
Yeah. Oh God,
they're watching us. They're hanging out with God and Jesus, and they're watching us via satellite.
And like I
said,
actually,
you know what they have in heaven? In heaven now, they have fiber internet. They got fiber, so they can stream.
Oh my God, you're
like
so silly. You're silly.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you know, baby, that fiber never goes out. You stream all day, every day, no problem.
I know.
Tell me you've got no problems.
I have no problems, but you know that has nothing to do with
high quality
Easter.
Too. High quality audio and video.
Can we move on?
Women don't give a shit about the quality. They care about it working and moving on and not.
Well, what I care about is giving you guys actually information you're coming here looking for, not technical jargon.
I want to make them laugh a little bit too, baby. It's all good.
Alrighty, let's move on.
Sometimes I'm a knucklehead, baby.
It's not a good look, baby.
Let's
move on. It's Easter.
I know. Let's go. So
Jesus, help him.
Oh yeah, help me. Okay. So yeah, you know, my mom fasts. I didn't fast. But the interesting thing about that was Bochi going to the ground again, huh?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, he's over there. There are a lot more church services during Lent, especially for the Greeks. Now, the Catholics have them too, but the Catholic Church, their services are a lot shorter. If you ever go, I'm going to have to take you. No,
I won't sit through it. I'm sorry.
She's honest. She already knows. The Orthodox, the Orthodox in general, but the Greek Orthodox services are so long. Like the Catholic Church, you know, 40 minutes, right? Maybe 35, 40, 45 minutes for a service. The Orthodox Church is like 2 hours. And for the special ceremonies of Easter and all that, and especially, you know, what do they call what is the week before Easter?
From Palm Sunday.
Holy Week.
Holy
I knew, God,
crap.
Can you believe this, baby? I knew there was something special about the week before. It's called Holy Week, baby. I feel
no kidding. Why would we know that? There's nothing holy about here.
Baby, I've been so consumed with stupid bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to move this show on.
Well, it's not just that. It's other things that we shouldn't have to be dealing with, like the stuff on YouTube. But so, especially Holy Week, which is, I had Can you believe this? I had to Google search what the week before Easter is called. And I've known that all my life. It's Holy Week.
I am
God,
getting
please,
hungry.
please forgive me. God, Jesus, help me. Okay. Um, Holy Week, I believe there's mass every day at our church.
Yeah.
And it's like a 2+ hour mass every day. And then the Easter one, the night before Easter, there's midnight mass. My mom went to church last night, and I'll tell you that Easter Eve mass is long, and it goes past midnight because midnight is technically the day, right? And it's just a long liturgy, and then after that, it ends by 1 in the morning, and then after that, you're supposed to go to we call it the hall, the recreation center, the hall where you meet with other parishioners of the church, and you have some coffee, and then you can actually start to eat normal again, right? And next thing you know, you're not home, till about 2:30 or 3 in the morning. And I remember so many times when my father, God rest his soul, when my father was around, we would go pretty much every year, up until I got to a certain age. I didn't go the last several years, even with my father being around. And my father actually, God rest his soul, he was the cantor of our church. Some of you may have heard this many times on YouTube. Others that are new don't know this. My father, who was a cantor of our church for 45 years, passed away at the church while sitting at his pew before he was to stand up and, sing the hymns along with the priest, doing the chant. They call him, the chanter, or the cantor, sorry, the cantor who chants along with the priest. He passed away during an Easter liturgy. I can't remember. I think it might have even been Holy Week, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check. But I got to say, that's one of my Easter stories. There, this is a big deal to you, huh? Yeah, because a lot of people, you wanted to meet Dimitri, and
I would have loved to have met your
Dimitri.
Dad. Oh my God.
From
what I have heard.
If you think I'm a fighter, Dimitri, my dad went through a lot of the same shit in the real world that I did business-wise.
Yeah.
Like father, like son, right? And he found a way to make it work. And I'm so proud of him. But, for him to pass away during this period of time of the year at the place that he loved the most, the church, right? Because without God and, God helping us, what would we be? And I know some people don't believe. That's on you. No one's trying to force you to believe anything you don't want to hear. But most people either believe in God and have faith in God and have faith in humanity. And I do. I still have faith in humanity, but this story is very touching to me, and I'm not going to cry like Don. I feel like close to it, but me trying to be the big, strong, emotionally contained man, I'm not allowed to cry. Well, that's not true, but I'm just trying to keep it together for the both of us, Anyway. I have a few other stories. Anything else you want to say, or is there anything you want to say about that, babe?
No, I don't.
We had our Easter egg hunts growing up. Every Easter was pretty much the same. My favorite part was the Easter egg hunt and getting money or getting something from my grandma or grandpa or my family. And, you're young and you don't even really understand what's going on, or maybe you do and you just don't care. I used to go and I used to hang out because grandma and grandpa were going to give me money or something, and I feel so stupid about that right now. Yeah, I was young and I didn't know any better, but I should have known better. Like Richard Marx used to say, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that in a love situation, because Richard Marx said, should have known better than to fall in love with you. Now our love is just a faded memory. It's not about you. I'm just saying, I have a song for everything. I'm sorry. I love you. You okay?
I'm fine. I'm just waiting for you to move on.
Anyway, but yeah, an interesting thing. I don't have to mention the name, but with an ex-girlfriend, we went with her dog to a doggy Easter egg hunt that I would love to take Bochi and Buster to.
That's impossible. You know, Bochi, my big, sweet, sweet boy, is too hard to contain with all of his excitement with dogs. Now he barks just because of, the sound of his bark, the way it comes out. It's not aggressive. It's like they're speaking to each other almost, and they're running around and they're having a good time. And I feel I wouldn't be able to control him because, like Eli said, he's about between 45 and 50 pounds. Well, that's like half of my weight. So there's no way I could physically control that dog with other dogs around. So that would be one reason why we couldn't do it. The other one, I don't know how the baby would act. Like, well, it's not a baby, but the little one.
Little dog that's 15 pounds, but thinks he's like Bochi's size.
Yeah, I just don't know how he would act. I mean, when he was younger, he was around other Dachshunds, and my girlfriend has 3 of them, and so we had little puppy parties, and he got along with all of them. He's just a yapper too. He just has a lot to say. So I just don't know how he would react to all the dogs.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe we'll do it. But so I went with an ex and her dog to an event here in the Bay Area, a little bit south of us in a town called Santa Clara. It's where the 49ers play now. And it was put on by the Wags Hotel. I didn't even know there were hotels for dogs besides like a PetSmart or something, right? And that's how I found out about the Wags Hotel. And literally,
they give them TVs.
What's that?
They have TVs in
the
their
Wags
rooms.
Hotel has HD TVs for their dogs.
Yeah.
Or for the dogs.
And fiber.
They probably have fiber in. They probably have streaming in there too. Shit.
Well, yeah, they put on like the Animal Planet
or Dog TV. There's actually Dog TV.
Yeah.
Now, Bochi, any animal or any violence, Bochi will go and jump right in front of the TV, and he'll put his face up against the TV, and then he realizes that he can't go through it, so he stops.
Then he's like, "Oh, that dog isn't really here to play with me." Okay.
Oh, this is a HD HUD TIV HD TV.
They look real to us.
HUD TIV.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because that's how he would talk, right?
Yeah. And he's 45 pounds. He'll jump, like he'll be on the floor, right? And he'll just see something on the TV when Dom and I are watching something on the couch, and he'll just get up and jump. And it's thunderous. It's like an earthquake.
And it used to be just certain triggers that he would have. Guns, loud people, like people yelling at each other. Those would be his triggers. Now,
you used to tell me that Bochi didn't like African Americans.
Well, I didn't want to put that out, but
no, it's okay.
But no, I figure it's because they see in black and white. They only have certain colors.
That's the reason
that
why
come in. So he sees a black kind of like almost like a blob on the TV, just screaming at him. So he's like, "What the fuck
Don and
is
I,
that?"
we really love the African American community, and Bochi, our dog, is not racist. He just sees like any type of big man or violence on the screen, and he goes nuts. He sees any animal, dog, cat, whatever, right, baby? Rat.
Oh yeah, it could be funny. I could be cheering because the Giants are winning at some point, and I'm yelling and clapping, and Eli will be getting ready to go for a walk, and he will innocently walk in front of the TV towards my direction. As those dogs are on top of me like white on rice, barking at him because they all think he's going to do something when I was the one yelling at the baseball game. These dogs are just literally silly puppies, but very loving, loving animals. I don't know what I would do without them.
Oh yeah, we love them. No, I love those dogs. But yeah, so all the dogs at that event, they went and they would find eggs. Like, this was a doggy Easter egg hunt put on by the Wags Hotel. I believe the Wags Hotel is just here in the Bay Area. I don't think they're outside the Bay Area. I'll have to see. But like, this is like a 5-star, maybe even a 10 out of 5-star. This is the top-notch place to take your dogs. Like, if Don and I are ever rich, we'll take our dogs there. I'm not saying that, we're not about the money, but we're just saying, hey,
No,
what?
but I mean, when it's like as much as our hotel room when we go out,
Oh, yeah.
like, I'm paying hotel for 2 places. Actually, I'm sorry, 3, because they will not board the 2 dogs together.
Right.
So you have to pay a fee for one and a fee for the other
So
room.
at the Wax Hotel, it would be around at least $250 a night for each dog, right?
So we're looking at $500.
$500 a night. 2 nights, 3 nights, that's about $1,500. Plus, then we got to pay for our hotel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because we can't leave these dogs at home, and we don't have anyone to take them to that can watch them, and they're very special dogs. They need very special care, and so we know we'll take them to PetSmart or something. We usually take them to PetSmart when we go, and they're much more affordable, and they've been great there, huh?
Yeah, the dogs have been good there. The only thing is, it's like my Vochi, he gets this like I would say like stage fright almost to walk through the doors. Like, he gets so excited or something that he actually will literally take a dump right like in the front of the store. He's like so excited. And
he gets nervous too.
He gets nervous. Yes, he has anxiety like his mother.
When I took Bochi to go get his
Shots.
rabies shot for the 3-year shot, he took a shit right outside the front of Petco.
Yeah. He's just,
And I cleaned it up. I mean, I asked them, they gave me, stuff at Petco, and that happens. But
oh, well, yeah,
he was nervous. He was scared.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big dog, but I mean, certain things out of isn't it true?
And I wasn't with him.
Like, out of when they're out of their element, yeah,
and I wasn't with him when you took him.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, this crazy bald man just took me away from my mother.
Yeah, this crazy bald man.
And he's like, where is he taking me to put me down? Where am I going? Why is it mom here? But yeah, no, they're great. And, they are our family now. I have 2 grown children. My daughter is 30 years old. My son is 27.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no babies around here. I mean, I have a granddaughter, but she doesn't live out close to me. So, and I have all my stuff here that I am doing for my granddaughter, and I will be able to give that to her very soon, I hope.
Can you lay down?
Oh, he likes to be in the camera. But yeah, no, it's just, what's wrong? Oh, anyways, yeah.
All right. Yeah, great story, baby. Great stories. Let's talk about one more thing before we go here. The importance of family.
Sorry, clearing my throat.
Oh, no problem. The importance of family. Not even just during the Easter holiday, but all holidays or just on any given day. I know we don't talk a lot about this, but we're reminded how important family is, which is what I'm trying to say, during the holidays, especially like an Easter or Thanksgiving. How important is family to you, and what is the importance of family in general?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
Family is my life. Family is my heart, soul, my oxygen. I could not live without my family and without Eli's family. To have 2 families that are so supportive and loving, it just brings absolute joy. And that's how family should be. Love, joy, happiness. And that's what happens, during these holidays.
You could live, but you might be bored if you didn't have us.
Honestly, I couldn't live without the love and support that I receive from your mother, my father, my brothers, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not included in that.
oh my God, you're sitting in front of me, Mister. Is it all about me? You are hysterical.
Come on, baby. Gotta lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but yes, of course you're involved with that. It's just
One more, just
one
because,
more
just
just
because
for
it
the
pisses them
trolls.
off.
Yes.
Just because Jamie doesn't like it.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
You know, family is important. Family security, you know, and I'm not talking financial. I'm talking security of love,
Emotionally.
safety. When you're with family, you feel safe. You're in your element. You know, these are your people.
Yep.
You know, and just, you don't get to see all of them all the time. So during the holidays, everybody comes together and it's beautiful. And that's what I love about Easter and the holidays and family.
Beautiful.
Crazy.
She can't help but
Amaze me.
yeah, she's crazy, but her crazy
Is beautiful to
is
me.
beautiful to me.
Don't judge for my singing. I don't just put it out there normal like he does. But please, you know, don't judge. I know.
Do you
I'm not
know
a
how many
singer.
times in the early days of our relationship when you were struggling a lot more with everything you were going through, and we heard those songs driving to and from where you used to live in Hollister, and they would really touch you emotionally, and it hit me emotionally too. So now I'm singing those songs in pure happiness and to remember where we were and where you were, you know, and where we are now and where you are now.
Yeah.
And yeah, what an amazing, you know, improvement for the both of us, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are at 1 hour and 57 minutes. I can't believe it. I didn't think we were going to do an almost 2-hour show, or it's probably going to be 2 hours. How about you start sharing your final thoughts, baby, unless you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I know, because we've got Easter stuff to do, and that's why I've been so pushy with him and moving on, because I want to get up and get to family. I'm starving.
Well, dinner's not going to be ready until 5:30.
I don't care. Maybe
my mother
there's
said my aunt.
Maybe there's hors d'oeuvres.
Said to go down to my aunt's house, which is locally here. What'd you say?
No fun.
Did you say DoorDash?
I said no. Maybe they have hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, hors d'oeuvre? Like
a little snack before dinner.
Yeah, hors d'oeuvres, which is like spelled out horse d'oeuvres or something with the H, right? It's hors d'oeuvres. You remind me of my ex in high school that used to call filet mignon filet mignon. What?
And did she have a glass of Merlot?
Merlot.
To go with that?
Right. So my high school.
You had an IPA, right?
Yeah. My high school sweetheart and I went to dinner, and we couldn't drink. We were underage back then. But if it were now, we would have a filet mignon and a glass of Merlot wine, right?
Yeah.
Not Merlot or filet. Filet and not mignon, mignon.
And not
filet
Merlot.
mignon.
Not Merlot. Merlot.
You want to know, in all fairness, I can't rip on her because if it wasn't for my dad used to be a chef when the family lived in Canada for a little while before my dad and his family moved back to Greece, found my mom, then they all moved here to the U.S. But my dad was a chef, and my dad would cook. Filet mignon was his favorite. He used to say, "Oh, filet mignon is so good, son. It's the most tender part of the meat, and it's really easy to eat." I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I like filet mignon. Yeah.
I'm down with that filet.
It's not filet mignon, it's filet mignon. Oh, yeah.
And he said it perfect with his Greek accent.
So I knew the term filet mignon as a little kid. So I really can't be even when I was, my high school sweetheart and I were 17 years old. I can't really get on her for not knowing how to pronounce filet mignon properly, right?
Or do you know what a French green bean is called?
What is that, baby?
Okay, so I have to get this saying like it's give me a second. It's hard to say.
Just remember to keep talking in the head of the mic.
Oh gosh, what Air Caber. That's what they're called.
What is that?
Air Caber are French green beans.
Oh, French green beans. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
It's crazy.
I love green beans.
Same.
Are those French beans that you get from Del Monte?
Well, yeah, you can get French style green beans from Del Monte.
From Del Monte. Yeah.
But if you're buying fresh green beans, they're the very long ones.
Is it Del Monte or Del Monte? Which one is it? Is it just?
I think that's just a preference because I grew up. Well, how did you grow up saying it?
Del Monte.
Yeah, same Del Monte for me. So
you said Del Monte.
Oh, did I?
Initially, yes. We can go back and watch the replay, and you did, but it doesn't make me. It's stupid. I'm having a good laugh. Give me 5.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I have really not more to say. I mean, I can come up, like I could tell the story about the young waitress that we had at the golf course I worked at. And she went up.
Oh, Rich Mark.
Yeah, and she went up to the bartender and she was like, "What's an IPA?"
Oh, the IPA. I think,
yeah, an IPA, Indian Pale Ale.
Exactly.
But she was so young. She couldn't even serve it. But she was just like, "What is an IPA?"
Do you now need to be 21 to serve? I thought it was 18.
No, it's 18.
It's still 18 to serve?
Yeah, she was 16 when she was hired there.
Huh.
So when she first started, she wasn't, and that's when she asked the question. When she first started, it was before she could start serving it.
In California, you must be 21 years old to serve cocktails, while other servers, including those in food service, can be 18 years old. Servers exclusively serving cocktails must be 21 or older. So basically, if you work at a restaurant that is alcohol only, you have to be 21.
Yeah.
So
but if
like
you work
the bar,
if you're at Applebee's,
where your friend works at, they all have to be at least 21 there. Now, if you work for an Applebee's, like you said, or a bar and grill, you can be 18.
Yeah.
Because that would be discriminating against letting you work non-alcohol stuff just because there's alcohol there. But I'm sure they're very, very cautious over that. Yeah. Nobody underage is drinking from the keg in the back room, right?
Hopefully they're not.
Yeah, we've all done some stupid shit in our younger days. Even the cops that are cops now,
everybody's done something stupid.
Listen, no one is completely squeaky clean, okay? But by some point, people learn their lesson. And, you do dumb shit, and then you get into your 20s, and you still do a little bit of dumb shit, but not as much. And then you keep doing less dumb shit as you get older, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd hope so.
Is that your final thought, baby?
Yes, my final thought.
Great, another great show. I love you. Happy Easter to you and everyone.
Easter. I love you too. I
know when we release this, and I know I'm probably not going to even walk today. There's no time to walk today. But happy Easter to everyone. Happy belated Easter by the time this gets released on Wednesday, the 23rd, I believe, right?
Yes, the 23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd, yeah. Family's important. Family's everything to me and to Dawn. It should be to you. But family to me, for certain people that have been true and loyal and respectful to my family, Dawn's family, Dawn and I, as friends, we consider them family too. And I think that's something that's important to
Yeah.
share as well, because, when you consider people that you got to know, like, and trust, and they become really good friends, they are a part of your family. They might not be blood related, but they're a part of your family. Sandra Palacio and Tia out here. Even Queen Helen Casey, even though her views sometimes, she's been commenting on my Facebook stuff. These are people from our YouTube moderator crew, and we're connected with them on Facebook. In case you're wondering, on the podcast, audio only, and the things. But all these people, Lewis Fuller and Alex the Beer Master, and just some other people that we've known for a while. Too many to mention. If I failed to mention you on our mod crew, forgive me. We're on Easter Day, and our minds are just not all there today. But at least mine is not all there. Don's is always there. But you're all family. Anyone that treats me with respect, treats my lady with respect, treats my family with respect, online or offline, you'll get the same respect back, and you'll be considered a part of our family. As a matter of fact, baby, I think we need to basically start something to the extent of become a part of the GNA family. I think that would be a great thing.
That's really nice. I like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
I come up with these things sometimes.
Well, we both do.
You do too.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
But anyway, that's that. So with that being said, we're going to start wrapping things up, baby. Are you ready to start wrapping things up?
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. Episode number 5 has been about Easter and Easter Sunday and the importance of family. We also shared what's going on in the community on the YouTube end of things. A lot of crazy things happening. They've been happening to us for years. They've been affecting us from growing in our right to free enterprise, but we're getting down to business. So if you want to, keep in touch with us outside of these podcasts, if you're on the audio end of things, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon Music. The dogs are now finally playing, and they're distracting me on the outro here. Your favorite is iHeartRadio, right? You
love iHeartRadio. Yes, I love iHeart. I always have.
Right.
They've been my favorite since the beginning.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I like them all, but that's all good. We all have our choice, our preference. But yeah, if you're in the audio only land, please go below, go below in the description and click on the link that will direct you to the video portion of this podcast. Subscribe on that main channel of ours, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Then go below in that description and look for the link to GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development, where we do the Walking with Purpose streams there and other live streams. And subscribe there, bang the bell, and select the notifications, and then you'll know what's going on every day. You'll get more of this style of content every day. I mean, this is the quality, big piece of content every week, but you'll get more every day. Right, babe?
Yeah.
With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, babe, be good to each other, right? Be good to each other.